football Hall of Famer and Heisman Trophy winner Marcus Allen goes at it with Pat Dempsey, who spent 12 years in the minor league.
Right.
Tough first round for the Hall of Famer. He takes the collar, 0 for 5, putting the pressure on his teammate, Patrick Dempsey. Not Dr. McDreamy, but he is our on-call long drive physician.
Now, most of you are used to seeing 14 clubs in a bag. Let's take a peek at a long driver's bag. Let's start with the tees. Now, this is your standard size tee right here, about 2 1/4. For long drive, we got 4 inches. Tee it high and let it fly. Okay, let's talk about golf balls. Whereas most people are concerned about finding a golf ball soft enough to compress, we're worried about finding a golf ball hard enough to compress. More ball compression, higher the ball speeds, longer drives. So let's talk about drivers now. Whereas we normally have 14 drivers in the bag, in this particular case, it's a one-day event, so I brought 5. We have a driver for every condition. If it's downwind, we have the special loft for that. If it's into the wind, if we want to cut the ball left to right, we have a driver for that, and usually a backup. Now, these drivers are about 48 inches, which is about 3 inches longer than your normal driver. Let's see what else we have. What the heck is this? I don't even know what this is. Who put this in here? We don't need that. That's what's in the bag for a long driver.
Well, a 48-inch driver, that is allowable under the rules of golf. In fact, I have used one on the Champions Tour some of the weeks. Imagine how far Tiger Woods might hit it if he used a 48-inch driver. Also, how far he might hit it off line.
Why doesn't he?
Well, it's hard to control. Okay. He struggles with his accuracy anyway. As we look at this tee shot, a low, boring flight, getting some roll.
And Dempsey checks in with 20 points after a 354-yard drive.
And you notice how he gets a good turn, long backswing, gets onto the left side early, which is why he gets such a low flight. Big shot.
Well, Dempsey missed on his next 3 balls, now his 5th and final attempt. For a guy who spent a dozen years in the minor leagues with the Orioles, Indians, A's, and Twins.
And pretty relaxed, his heart rate at just 110, a really low, boring flight ball with a fade.
Looks like it's going to find the grit.
Look at this, it's going to run out down that left side where you can get some more roll. A great shot there.
356-yard drive worth another 20 points for the man who has made the transition from pro baseball to the Big Shots team, and he's enjoying himself, even though he's currently in 4th. So now it's up to Pat Dempsey to get his team onto the semis, and Dempsey, as we said, has really made a second career out of the Big Shots competition. He spent a dozen years in the minor leagues with the A's, the Indians, the Twins, and yes, the Orioles, where he almost ended Cal's streak.
Said he was sitting on the couch when he got done playing baseball, had nothing to do, and decided to get into the long game arena. And here he is, a Big Shot member.
Come on, Pods. Come on, baby. Come on, baby.
And he's flighted this down into the wind down that left side again, getting some roll.
Finish it, baby. Finish it.
And it barely qualifies. Once again, the pros have to hit it at least 350 yards to get something on the scoreboard. That one goes 351. Good enough for 15 points.
And now his last ball, trying to get one more in play. Big swing coming out of his feet, trying to get everything into it, trying to hook it back into play. And look at this tee shot. This is monstrous down the left side.
A huge ball from Pat Dempsey. 375 yards, giving his team 70 points.
375 yards and 30 points for Pat Dempsey on his 5th and final ball.
That puts them in first place for the time being in the Mulligan round. Marcus Allen all smiles. First, it is time for the finals in the long drive competition. Pat Dempsey, 53 years old, taking on 24-year-old Brooks Baldwin. They are fighting it out for 50 grand. That's what's on the line for first prize. And big, you can see the water out there moving a little bit thanks to the wind. Is that going to play a factor?
Well, it is. It's into the player's face. Dempsey is a low ball striker where Baldwin hits the ball quite high and won't get as much roll. Should play into Dempsey's hands.
Missed the grid on his first shot.
That's well struck up the
Lets it fly here with shot number 2.
He likes that. And the left-hand side of the fairway, if he can get it up there, is where the ball will roll the most, as you can see that one does there.
Who said you're too old?
368 yards. Picks up 25 points on his second ball.
Well, and he kept that ball down below the tree line, as you can see, 65 feet.
This guy is a true athlete. Spent a dozen years in the minor league organizations of the A's, the Indians, the Twins, and the Orioles, a former roommate of Cal Ripken Jr. Of course, his big brother, Rick, former World Series MVP, and there he is with his nephew, Greg Zahn, catcher for the Rays.
Pretty big guy for a catcher, 6'4". If he can put this ball into play, you can see he only has one ball in play so far. This would put a lot of pressure on Baldwin.
Fifth and final ball, well struck. Back right to left.
Got it down low, a draw down that left-hand side, and it doesn't hang on.
Kicked the wrong way.
That one was out of bounds.
Once
25
again,
points for
accuracy
Pat Dempsey.
very important. 359 yards, good enough for 15 points.
15
So
points.
if Baldwin puts one more in the grid, he will be crowned the champion.
Big show. And maybe the wind in his face is bothering him a little bit here. They see that ball got to 219 feet, 4 times almost as high as what Dempsey hit his tee shot. This is where you have to summon up the courage and the guts and make a good swing with good balance and rhythm. And not
that
even
one out
close.
to the right. Brooks Baldwin.
Doesn't even bother to watch it land.
Championship round with his
That's
teammate.
because it's in the 14th fairway, I believe. So Pat Dempsey, congratulations. Brooks Baldwin was done in by 53-year-old Pat Dempsey. I know who's buying dinner tonight after winning 50 grand.
Need to get going, baby!